been having for about a good year or more now. Not every day or every month, or just I've had this dream several times, but this time was different, and in this dream, I'm sitting in the living room and I'm watching the news, and this news reporter is reporting about a plague, or a biological agent, or some type of disease that's been killing hundreds of thousands of people in America, and she's going into these six-figure numbers of people that have succumbed to this disease. There was speculation about the disease being biological, and a country being blamed. Now, I didn't have clear detail of what country they were blaming, but in living in these times, they have opportunity to blame several countries. They can blame Iran, they can blame Iraq, but we all know that the majority of these attacks on U.S. soil are done by the U.S. As propaganda for them to unleash warfare on who they desire. But in this dream, this news reporter is saying such country, it could be a biological attack. Such and such country has said that they will attack, that they're looking to attack America, and they have the means and this and that. And in the middle of this woman broadcasting the news, she goes into convulsions, and what I remember is the convulsions had to be severely painful, because I remember this woman screamed so loud, and her mouth opened so wide that it almost contorted, and I remember blood coming out of her eyes, and I just remember her in severe convulsions and pain. And usually that was the end of the dream. I would wake up, but in this last dream or vision that I had, which was today, it was the exact same thing happened. I was watching the news lady, and she was going to all these numbers of people. She goes into convulsions and dies right there on the set, and this, after I saw that, the screen went blank, when they do all the colors, and after the screen went blank and the sound went out, I heard a bunch of screams outside. Had to be around the time where my son gets out of school. So I walk to the door open the door to see what's going on, and I see all of these people laying on the ground convulsing, and foaming out of the mouth and screaming. I mean, the screaming was so terrifying and eerie that it really scared me, man. It put a fear in me, what I'm saying, that was rememberable. It was a fear that I won't forget, how eerie, and it was one of those fears that kind of like, it kind of like distorted your whole comfort of the day, man, and it's something that I've been meditating on, but I look outside, and I see all of these people on the ground convulsing, and I see people running to their aid, and the people that are dying are screaming, and then the parents of the children are screaming, and I see my son, and he's walking past. He's walking slow, looking at all these people, and I'm like, and I tell my son, I said, son, come on, we're leaving, you know, because and usually when stuff like that happens, there's a quarantine, and they trap you in the city, and you can't get out, So I told my son, I said, come on, son, we're leaving, and we ran in the house. We ran in the house, grabbed a few outfits, grabbed some clothes, ran out to the car, and by the time we got out to the car, those people were dead, and people were bowed before them, mourning, crying, man. And a lot of those were kids that went to school with my son, and people were bowed over them, mourning and screaming and crying, man. And I got in the car. Me and my son, we threw our stuff in the back seat, and we got in the car. And as we getting in the car, the building where I stay at, I can see the major street that leads out, and people start having car wrecks, convulsing, like going into convulsions at the wheel. So I said, hurry up, son, let's go. So I got my son in the car, and we took off, and, riding out of the apartment complex that I live in, you can look down, it's like a main street, and there was people all over the place dying. And I turned out of the apartment complex and was going down a major street, and it was just chaos, man. It was chaos. I mean, people everywhere were dying. I mean, everywhere, and I mean, there was planes falling out of the sky. There was helicopters falling. There was school buses wrecking. And we were managing to weave around traffic, and and continue to, get, where we were going. And, as far as I could see, there was people running back and forth. There were cars in the street where people had left their vehicles in park in the street and took off running to try to save a loved one, and it was hell, man. And it was all happening at once. It was all happening at once, as if this mysterious disease had like it must have, I don't know if it had a trigger. I don't know if I don't know for it to happen like that, the way it was happening. I don't know if it had spread, if it had a long incubation period or whatever the case, but people were dying, laying out on the ground, foaming at them, and people were dying, and the looks on their faces were their mouths wide open, and looks of horror, man. Eyes gaped open, mouth wide open, dead on the ground, man. And as we were getting close to, getting on the highway, I woke up, out of this vision, and it was very unsettling, a very unsettling thing to see, but it was sobering, man. It put me in a serious mindset, that, hey, man, this could happen. This could happen anytime, man. You got people joking around about this guy that died in Iran, and our people make fun of everything, man. They take everything light, man. And eventually you will fear. Eventually, man. Because the Lord is going to send something on this place that people are going to die in large numbers, man. And the last time people were taken in great number was spiritually. But this time people are going to get taken in great number, and it's going to be literally, you know, people are going to die in large numbers of people, you know. And, you know, as you know, when I seen my son walking towards the house, it was as if the sunlight, it was a sunny day, you know what I'm saying, outside. It was a beautiful day, you know, but it was as if the sun was shining brighter on him than it was the people around him, man. You know, and you know, what I took from that was the Lord was protecting him, man. You know, because the majority of the school kids, there were some that weren't dying, but they were freaked out and running, you know. But he was the only one walking. And to the point where I had to tell him, look, hurry up, we got to go. You know, and the sun, the light from the sun was shining on him brighter than everybody else, man. You know. And I was reminded of the scripture. I'm gonna get the scripture. And this time, the snare of the fowler is going to be that RFID chip. Oh yeah, and that's another thing, man. You know, the news anchor was pushing the RFID chip as a potential solution. You know, I forgot about that part. That's the biggest part. She was pushing the RFID chip as a solution to minimize this disease, man. You know, man, how did I forget that? Hey, but the water how about me outside? She was speaking about the RFID chip and how it could help to save humanity, because the rate that these people were dying were at a high rate. I'm talking about the number had to be around close to 1 million people, like 700,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was really high, man. You know. And she was talking about the RFID chip, and while she was talking about the RFID chip, that's when she went into convulsions, man. You know. But yeah, man. You know, the water how about Shimmy outside for let me remember that, man, because that's a big prophecy that's about to happen, and they can do something like that. They can say, oh, Iran used biological agents or let a disease loose in America and blame Iran for it. You know, they can do that. You know, and this RFID chip, this is a solution. And when people fear something, man, when people are afraid, you know. And Apostle, I was listening to Apostle Tahar the other day. He said the white man's going to present that chip in a form where people are going to run to take it. And fear is the most powerful driving force of you doing anything that doesn't make sense. You know, it was bad, man. You know. And that dream, that vision that I had, it left an uneasy feeling on me all day long, you know, as I meditated on it, you know, and I said, eventually, you know, once I get my thoughts together, I'll do a lesson on it, you know. But hey, man, just like that, man, like that, man, like quick, man, the Lord, man, I was watching the brother Ayash video earlier. He was talking about how the Lord is about
virus, which has infected hundreds in China, has now reached the United States. Airports around the world are stepping up health screenings on passengers arriving from Wuhan, China.
The officials say the new virus was first detected in Wuhan on December the 12th. authorities have traced a new deadly virus back to this seafood market in the city of Wuhan. They say a new strain of coronavirus originated here and put an entire region on edge.
Well, we've just learned that the World Health Organization will hold an emergency meeting on Wednesday in a couple of days to decide whether this coronavirus outbreak is an international public health emergency.
Make no mistake, this is though an emergency in China, but it has not yet become a global health emergency.
The city at the center of the outbreak in China and 2 others going on lockdown.
And health officials have confirmed that the virus can spread from person to person.
The number of deaths is also growing.
Since the virus first appeared in the central Chinese city of Wuhan last month, it has spread into neighboring countries like Japan, Thailand, and South Korea. Back in the States, the CDC screening thousands of passengers arriving from Wuhan at JFK, LAX, and SFO. Officials checking temperatures, looking for symptoms similar to the common cold, flu, or even pneumonia.
亲友们，各位长辈们，我是金慧，我目前还在武汉汉口这个疫区，我向大家汇报一下，目前我们整个湖北甚至全国的疫情情况。现在已经有9万多人次，这个病毒的传染几率是多少呢？就是一个人传染之后，如果说他没有被有效的隔离的话，或者说进行有效的治疗的话，他会传染给他身边的14个人，那么这个基数就很大了。 现在正值春节假期之际，天南地北的亲戚朋友、子女都往家里赶，都是为了阖家团圆，在一起吃一顿团年饭。现在情况特殊，我希望大家不要出门，不要聚会，不要聚餐，春节年年有，只要人平安，大家都可以随时随地的在一起。我现在向大家介绍一下我们整个湖北省医疗物资情况。现在武汉市整个医疗系统及湖北省的整个医疗系统都已经越过了我们的上级、卫计委及各个行政部门、市政府、省政府，透过各大媒体在向社会发起物资募捐。这个物资是医疗物资，比如说我现在戴的护目镜，戴的一次性的口罩，戴的一次性的手套，身上穿的这个隔离衣，甚至是隔离裤。这个物资特别精确，我们现在的医护人员凡是从临床下来的，现在全部都又重新上了一线。我现在相当于就是在火线上给大家录这个录像，就是为了让大家引起警觉。我再强调一次，春节放假期间不要出门，就自己在自己屋里待着，要不然我在前方拼命是为了什么？我就是为了让我的爸、我的亲人他们健康，希望大家能够理解。我也知道有些亲戚不在群里面，请看到我这消息的人相互打电话，相互通知，一定要做到。我希望大家能够提高认识，这是一个政治任务。而且报告大家一个很不好的一个消息，这个新型冠状病毒已经发生第2代变异了，也就是说在第1代变异的时候我们可以对症治疗，那么在发生第2代变异的时候，这是要命的。那它的感染几率就不是一个人传染，一个人得上的这种病传染身边14个人，那么它是呈爆发性质的。望大家一定要牢记，不要出门，不要串门，不要聚会，不要聚餐。谢谢大家。